You know those massive mega projects? We're talking billions of pounds, years of work, all to build the future. But sometimes these huge undertakings go spectacularly wrong, costing a fortune and causing just absolute chaos. Today, we're going to break down the invisible backbone that separates the triumphs from the train wrecks.
So, what's the link between a disastrous airport opening, a banking IT meltdown, and a government program that just completely stalls out? Trust me, it's not just a string of bad luck. It's a failure in something really fundamental. Remember the grand opening of Heathrow's Terminal 5? It was supposed to be this shining example of modern efficiency. Instead, it was a total fiasco. The baggage system just completely collapsed, hundreds of flights got canceled, and thousands of bags were stranded.
Or what about TSB Bank's legendary IT migration? Millions, literally millions of customers were locked out of their accounts for weeks, all because a critical tech project went completely off the rails.
And then you've got the UK's Universal Credit Program. I mean, this was a massive overhaul of the entire welfare system that, in its early days, was just hit with major delays and a famous reset because they wildly underestimated what it would actually take to pull it off.
The common thread in all these messes is a breakdown in something called project resource management. Okay, it might not sound super glamorous, but it is the systematic blueprint that stops this kind of chaos from ever happening.
So what is it really? Well, put simply, it's about making sure you have the right people, the right tools, and the right materials, all in the right place at exactly the right time. Think of it as the master strategy for getting all your ducks in a row before the battle. And this isn't guesswork, not at all. It's a really disciplined 6-step process. First, you plan what you need. Then, you estimate how much. You acquire the resources, develop your team, manage how they're doing, and finally, you control all your physical stuff. So let's break down what that actually looks like in the real world. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with the plan. This is your foundation. Get this part right, and you're building on solid rock. Get it wrong? And, well, you're building on sand, and we all know how that ends. Okay, look at this. It's like a tale of two projects. On one hand, you've got Crossrail, which meticulously planned out its massive workforce, and even figured out what to do with every shovel of dirt before they even started. Then you have Universal Credit, which had this huge vision, but kind of winged it on the people and skills needed. The results, well, they speak for themselves, don't they? Now, a key tool for getting that plan right is something called a RACI chart. It's a super simple but incredibly powerful grid that just gets rid of all the confusion. It makes it crystal clear who's responsible for doing the work, who's accountable for it, who needs to be consulted, and who just needs to be kept informed. No more finger pointing. And why is that clarity so critical? Check out this number, 530,000. A McKinsey study found that Fortune 500 companies lose over 500,000 workdays every single year just because people are confused about their roles. That is a staggering amount of time and money just vanishing into thin air. But, you know, a brilliant plan is pretty useless if you don't have the stuff to make it happen. And that brings us to our next step, acquiring resources. This isn't just about ordering supplies. It's about picking the right partners and vendors. Get this wrong, and the results can be absolutely catastrophic. Just look at TSB Bank. They got a new IT system from a vendor, but they completely dropped the ball on managing the risks of that deal. They just didn't have enough control over this super critical partner, and the result was an IT disaster that's now a textbook case of how not to manage your vendors. Okay, so you've got your plan, you've got your people, you've got your parts. But the work doesn't stop there. Now you have to actually lead them. This is the human side of things, developing and managing your team right in the heat of the project. This quote, wow, it really gets right to the heart of the problem. It's from the official investigation into the Heathrow Terminal 5 disaster. See, it wasn't just a technology failure, it was a people failure. The staff at Terminal 5 had been trained, but it just wasn't enough. It was all theory, not enough real hands-on practice. So when the system went live and the pressure was on, the team just wasn't ready, and chaos took over. It's such a painful reminder that properly developing your team is completely non-negotiable. Now, let's look at the flip side. Resource control done brilliantly. Crossrail dug up millions of tons of earth. Instead of just dumping it somewhere, they controlled this waste so meticulously that 98% of it was reused. A huge chunk of it was actually used to create a brand new nature reserve. How cool is that? They turned a problem into a massive asset, all through tight control. At its peak, Crossrail was managing a workforce of 14,000 people. That's the size of a small town. When the project hit some serious delays, new leadership came in and totally transformed the culture into one where people could be open and honest about problems. See, managing a team this big isn't just about spreadsheets, it's about leadership.
So when you pull it all together, what's the ultimate lesson here? It's that good resource management is the invisible backbone of every single successful project. You don't always see it when things are going right, but boy, its absence is painfully obvious when things go wrong. So what's the playbook here? First off, define who does what clearly from day one. Be brutally realistic. Your big goals need to have the right resources to back them up. Remember that your people are your greatest asset, so invest in them. Keep a tight grip on your physical stuff to prevent waste. And finally, for goodness sake, learn from the past so you don't make the same expensive mistakes all over again.
So the next time you read about some amazing new project, a high-speed train, a huge tech rollout, you'll know the most important question isn't just, what are they building? It's, do they actually have the resources, the people, the plan, the leadership to pull this thing off?